Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. I did a video yesterday, but I forgot to share the screen, so I just deleted it. Anyhow, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Wednesday, glorious Wednesday. It is 12/13/2023. It is 6:46 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. Let's look at the market and what's going on. I'm going to make this quick, try to rock these out daily at a very early time slot. Looking at FinViz today, well, the market ain't open yet, so it doesn't tell us that much, but yesterday we definitely did close in the green for the NASDAQ, S&P 500, and the Dow. That's interesting. NVIDIA had a good day yesterday, so, well, that makes me happy, right? Anyway, NVIDIA just crushing the markets these days because, well, you need those chips for AI. And looking at cryptometer.io, we can see that the Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours has been 4.5, just became 4.6 billion. That's pretty darn good. It's down 20% last 24 hours. Definitely a little bit of interest that we've had in the recent run is subsiding, but that's fine. It's time to retrace a bit or go sideways, or maybe we're consolidating right now and getting ready for a further run. So we'll take a look at that. Did have our recent dump that was back on the 11th of December, and now we're just kind of ranging sideways. Whales most likely, as I watch the big buys and sells come in here with leverage. They're buying the top, selling the bottom. They're ranging it. I call it a whale range. Basically, they're keeping Bitcoin in a tight range where they want it, longing and shorting, and of course they're wiping out retail traders to create liquidity to buy more Bitcoin. So if you're a leverage trader, just be careful and realize that, if you blow it, the forces of evil get your Bitcoin. So looking at Binance here, 57% long, 42% short, definitely a bit of a long bias here for Bitcoin on the big exchange Binance, where all the volume is, and the big longs and shorts are. Also, let's look at Ethereum, because it kind of gives us an idea of the alt world. 67% long, 32% short. So definitely a positive long bias for alts and Bitcoin today. Looking at the top 20 exchanges, all of them are in the red as far as volume for spot trading. So last 24 hours, the spot trading volume has decreased. It's kind of, I'm thinking that's probably because this is just high octane speculation, but I think it's a holiday weekend, so I think you may see the trading slowdown begin to happen a little sooner. I know it's really next week when Christmas is, but let's face it, everybody's going to see grandma. They're doing stuff. It has begun. So don't worry, January 1st will soon be here, and we can all get back to work and trading. Okay, now Bitcoin coming in at 41,393. I can dig that. Looking at the alt market, mostly not that great, although Beam is doing well. I like seeing that. I've oftentimes thought, and I think there's some good. Well, if you research it, it's just my take on it. But I think that Monero, oftentimes before Bitcoin hits a lot of volatility, especially towards the downside, I think some of the big money rolls into Monero because it's kind of invisible slightly, and then it rolls back into Bitcoin. So when it's either on the up or the volatility lessens. So anyway, the big money, I think, high things speculation, I know, but I think it used to tend to go to Monero because it was just a good little safe space to hide out in rather than cash. So there's many reasons for that, especially depending on what country you're trading in, et cetera, et cetera. But with that said, Beam is a good security token. It's based on the Nimble protocol, which Grin is, just that Beam actually doesn't suck. It's a good wallet, good ecosystem. And so I'm wondering if this is beginning to be a place where money rolls out of Bitcoin to find a less volatile place when there's crazy stuff getting ready to happen. So anyway, Beam, very, very interesting. It's a mineable token. So anyway, we're going to check it out real quick. I think it may begin to be a bit of an indicator, quite possibly. So looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart, we're retracing a bit. But here's the thing. I mean, without too much ado about it, it's an easy chart to look at really right now. We had a bit of a BART pattern, which is absolutely common for Bitcoin. On the 4-hour chart, we did not hit the 200 moving average on this retrace. Now we're going sideways. Basically, I think people are just long and shorting it right here, keeping it sideways. And that's good to go. If we look at a 45-minute chart, we are below the 200 moving average and the 314 moving average. You can see that BART pattern come into play there. And well, there you go. So BART pattern. Now we're going sideways. It's a low volume middle of the week. So Bitcoin sideways. I think we're pretty good. Looking at like the 45-minute chart here. Let's go back there to the 45-minute chart. And we can see, looking at the indicators, squeeze indicators beginning to turn positive. Directional index and ADX are sideways positive. Volume still kind of, yeah, it's a little sporadic, getting some volume. So we'll see what happens. I think that I wouldn't really be going long on Bitcoin until it breaks above the 200 moving average on the 45-minute chart, or the hourly if you prefer that. And the hourly actually shows this recent kind of BART pattern price action really nice and clearly. So boom, what's what we'd expect. I'm watching for also the hourly chart to Bitcoin to get past the 314 on the hourly chart. That'll be a beginning of a little bit. We give me more confidence that we're just kind of sideways until we jitterate between the 314 and the 200, and eventually break back above. Looking at longer time frames in general, I would say that Bitcoin's a pretty powerful chart right now. So I imagine a continuation. We had a nice little retrace. It makes sense. It works. We're still well above the 200 and the 140 moving average on the daily chart. That's very powerful. If I was to, let me actually throw the MACD in there. MACD. MACD, there it is. The daily MACD, where are we at there? Oh, here's one to watch though. This is definitely something to note if you're trading it tightly. Check this out. We are negative on the MACD. So the MACD, the blue line, just crossed under the MACD. Well, the MACD, well, like the signal is the red line. MACD is the blue line. So of course we just crossed negative way up here in overextended territory. The histogram's going towards the negative side. I would definitely wait for the tangent of the daily to hop in. To tangent up, and then when that happens, we will see, especially if the 45-minute chart and hourly charts get back above the 200 moving average, I think we'll start to see that's when this continuation would really continue, basically, if you put it that way. A good thing I like to do also on the MACD, I think a magical indicator is the 2-hour MACD. And as we can see, it gave a lot back. It's below the midline. Histogram's going positive. It's turned positive. So I think in general, we're heading towards a continuation towards the upside. If that was to be doubted, if it starts looking shaky, definitely watch that 2-hour MACD. If that begins to trend negative, then we're probably going to, at the very least, continue sideways before we run again. That's just my take on it. High octane speculation as always, but I think we're going to see continuation of Bitcoin. But this weekend, especially with the holiday, may be very, very low volume. So we'll see what happens. But also watch out, because during times of low volume, that's when the whales, long and short with leverage, and they create lots of liquidity, and they grab those retail traders SATS when they get wrecked. So be careful. Definitely low volume brings big swings, brings lots of retail traders getting wrecked towards the negative or the positive side of the market. So that's just what happens. I'll bring this to y'all attention because this is something that we're looking at over at Blockchain Education. If you go to Bitcoin Daily View, link to in the show notes. Blockchain Education is my crew, basically, and you might want to take a look. It's a good platform to learn how to trade very, very effectively in life, spirit, commodities, you name it, bacon futures, whatever. SATS, USDT. This is an alt. I'm just going to throw it out there. SATS. We've been watching this. It has a lot of potential. It may be completing a BART pattern right now, but in general, it's in a squeeze for the squeeze indicator. Directional index is in the green. I bet you that ADX here, the white line, is going to tangent up pretty soon, and we're losing some volume, which a lot of alts are right now. But still, this thing has had some tremendous pump recently, and we were staring at this last night, and I would just say, just kind of one of my little throw out there is, daily chart looking kind of positive. Let's go back here and then go to daily. I won't belabor this, but just this is one that we're watching. I think it's got a lot of potential. So just want to throw out there, if you're an alt trader, SATS on versus Tether on KuCoin, interesting stuff. Okay, just want to throw out there, take a look at it. If you're an alt trader, this one may have potential to run. And then once again, Beam versus USDT. This is over on Gate.io. This is not on any of the big exchanges that I like to trade on, but Gate.io, it's legit, and it's a few other places. So Beam made this ridiculous run recently, and now looking at it via fib sequence here on a 4-hour chart, we're still well above the 200 moving average. It looks like it did something that I consider wonderful. did a 786 bounce, and now it's finding a challenge getting back above the 618 golden pocket. I'm watching it. I look, overall looking at the indicators, the squeeze indicator is coming towards the positive side of after giving a lot back. Directional index is in the green. ADX is not quite joined the party yet. And as far as volume, what is that indicator? My volume indicator went nuts. Anyway, with that said, just one to watch. I think it's an interesting chart. Let's look at it on the daily. Yeah, daily, well above the 200 moving average. This thing is on fire. Let's watch for this continuation. I might even get a little bit sparky with this one, and kind of up the position, and basically do something like um, maybe put like my stop right at the 786 or something like that, and then just let this thing Lambo, because I think this is one that definitely could very well ride back up to its recent high easily. It's playing by the rules of the fib sequence, and like I say, I have a feeling, just call it for what it's worth, I think this is where the money that used to roll into Monero is now rolling into to maybe just take the holiday off. Anyway, probably sounds crazy, but if you do watch on the exchanges, how money flows, how crypto flows and such like that at different times. I do have some, it's high octane speculation, but I do think that money that is usually playing Bitcoin tends to hide somewhere when it wants to take a break. And I have a feeling it might be Beam. So anyway, it's a great project. I like seeing it do well, and hopefully this could very possibly, if it continues, continuation, might be a nice Lambo ride as we go into the new year. So with that said, that's about it today. Everybody take care, and I will talk to you as often as possible. And I think this might be a time slot where I can make this happen daily. It's not on my big computer, which I prefer to use because I can see a lot more. You guys can see a lot more, but this is kind of a nice time slot in the morning where I think I can consistently actually hook it up and do videos. As always, bitcoindailyview.com got more for you there. And not to be silly, but buy me a coffee. Why I say that? Every day that somebody buys me a coffee, I guarantee the next day in the morning, I will do a video, come hell or high water. And if you suggest a coin or something to look at, I'll check it out. We'll chart it. Just keep it a limit of 3 because, well, I try to keep these quick. Anyway, everybody take care. It's Wednesday. It's a great day. Happy holidays. I'll talk to y'all later.